Well, there she is, Hillary Clinton, hearing from her for the first time today in Ohio, talking right off the bat about that email investigation. She did bring up the use of it and said that it was a mistake and that she regrets it. For reaction, let's go to Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis. He sits on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us from Florida today. First, I want to ask you about a couple things she said. She said there is no case here. She said it's not even a close call and that voters made up their minds a long time ago about what they think of all of this. Your take on that?
Well, I don't think that's true because I think most voters view her as dishonest, and the majority of the Americans think she should have actually been prosecuted. And if you look at, like, I was in the military, if people would have handled top secret information the way she did, they likely would have faced a court-martial. So there is a double standard. I think it does bother a lot of voters. But here's the thing going forward. We don't know what's in those emails. If you remember, they destroyed over 30,000 emails. There were some recovered by the FBI that had been destroyed that were work-related, but there are others that couldn't be recovered because of BleachBit. Well, if some of those are on Huma Abedin's laptop, they could potentially be relevant not only to the investigation about classified material, but to the allegations against the Clinton Foundation.
Congressman, how far is your committee prepared to go? Because this thing obviously is not going to be wrapped up in the next 8 days before the election. Where do you take it from here? You sit on government reform.
Well, I think it depends. I mean, we've looked at the classified information investigation and why there wasn't more done to follow up on things like emails being destroyed, BleachBitted, even though they were under subpoena. We'll see what happens with this. Obviously, we don't have any criminal ability to criminally prosecute people, but if you look at something like the foundation, when she became Secretary of State, she signed an agreement with the president saying the foundation wasn't going to be that involved, and she didn't follow that. Now they won't even commit to shutting the foundation if she got elected. So I think we'll see what happens when the dust settles after the election. But clearly, if there are 4 different FBI probes, according to the Wall Street Journal, about the foundation, this is not just going to go away because if she ends up winning the election.
Congressman, your committee was the one that received the letter from James Comey. I'm just wondering quickly, have you heard from him or anyone on his staff? Have you spoken with him outside of that letter?
No, we haven't, and I think it's important for people to know he didn't really get into the facts, but he had to do that because his testimony as it stood before Congress previously was that the case was closed, and so he had to update that if he's taking investigative steps. So I think it was more just to correct his testimony than to actually brief Congress on any of the underlying facts.
Congressman Ron DeSantis, we'll be looking for you to brief us as your committee's investigations go on when you get back to Washington. Sir, thanks so much. Was just in Orlando over the weekend. What a great town you have. Loved it there.
Thank you.